Art of Relationship show is copywritten. No one is to use any portion of the show without express written consent from myself, Greg Dazinski, or the Art of Relationships. Thank you.
Welcome to the Art of Relationship show. Greg welcomes live calls from listeners in helping with numerous marital and relationship problems. There will be no more tit-for-tat arguments. Greg gets to the root of couples' challenges in a rapid, matter-of-fact format, plus applies compassion and humor. Join in discovering how to improve your relationship and your own life. Listen, laugh, and climax. Greg is a licensed professional counselor in the state of Michigan. To others, he's simply known as Detroit's Love Guru.
Welcome, everybody. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday. Going to be talking about a fellow professional. Actually, he's a brilliant researcher, sexologist, Justin Lee Miller's post. And I posted this down below a little bit. How we change ourselves in a sexual fantasy. Meaning, you know what? When you are fantasizing, you know what? You might be fantasizing while you play with yourself, while you love yourself, okay? How do you change yourself? Maybe you even fantasize, you know what, about you and your partner getting it on, doing the nasty, you know what? Sort of making each other's toes curls. And I'm going to talk about this, and I want to know if you're brave enough, if you're not shy, where you fit in, and maybe this might not be a consistent thing, okay? Maybe you fantasize about having bigger boobs, smaller butt, bigger butt, whatever, okay? Maybe me having hair. No, I'm cool with it. I'd look dorky with hair now. But where do you set yourself at as far as, you know what, your sexual fantasies and how you view yourself? And, you know what, to go after that. So I'm gonna go after. First, I'm gonna talk about Justin Lee Miller's research in his book about "Tell Me What You Want," and like I said, he's affiliated with the Kinsey Institute, you know, University of Indiana. I mean, I think everybody's heard of the Kinsey Institute, sexual studies and sexology and so forth. And also, so I'm gonna go over what he, you know, stated. What he found in his research, how we change ourselves in our sexual fantasies, okay? And then I'd love to hear your comments, your take, and maybe what you fantasize about, if, you know what, anything. We might change, you know, how we want to do sex, how we want to, you know what, maybe try different things. But this is about how you change yourself. So it's a little bit different in a unique research piece. And he come up with 74% of the participants in his research study stated that changing body type or shape. 74% of the people, you know, surveyed in his research said that, you know what, that we want to change our body or shape. Meaning, you know what, skinnier, maybe more built, more muscular, that type of thing, okay? And this might also go, you know, into about having bigger boobs, okay? The, you know, bigger butt, small butt, that type of thing. Maybe you want a, you know, slimmer stomach, that type of thing. Oh, my legs look too big or they're too skinny like birds' legs. I'd like them a little bit thicker. So 74% of the participants in the research study by Justin states that, you know what, we, on the most part, change our body style, our body shape, if you will. 56% of the participants stated that, you know what, we change our genital size or appearance. Oh my God. How would women change their genital appearance in their mind? Maybe they feel that their lips aren't, you know, vaginal lips, their labias are not big enough. Maybe they're too big. Maybe they're shaped funny or weird. Maybe the color is not how they like it. Men, let's face it, how many men wish that their penis size was smaller than what it was? You know what? Or, you know what, do men fantasize, of course, you know, having a bigger tool, a bigger penis? Or maybe some guys wish that their testicles were smaller. Maybe they thought, they would want them to be bigger balls, that type of thing. 56% of the participants, okay? 47% stated that you being yourself at a younger age. Oh my God, knowing what you know now, how many people would love you to go back and be, should I say 16? Should I say 18, 20? 21, oh my God, if I was younger and know what I know now. How many people would like to go back, right? How many people would not like to go back and, with the knowledge you have now? Oh my God. Me personally, would I like to go back? I've never pictured myself, really being younger as I fantasize. So they're saying, Justin's saying 47% are saying that, you go back and fantasize that you're younger. I wonder how much younger, though. Have to give Justin a shout and ask if he found out a younger age, if there's any correlation. Most people thought, go back to when you're 21, 25, and I'm sure this would correlate too as far as age. Maybe if you're 60 years old, you fantasize about being 40 again or 30, whatever it is. So it'd be interesting. How many people would love to be a future version of yourself? 44% a future version of yourself. Now, how many people would ever picture themselves, the future self, that you're getting it on in a sexual fantasy and you're 88 years old, that you're 90 years old, that you're maybe, 75 years old? How many people would, sort of fantasize about being themselves? Or how many people would fantasize maybe they're 20 and they fantasize being 30? Is that more realistic where people would think? I don't think a lot of people, I would say maybe above 35 or 40 would ever fantasize about being an older version of themselves. So it'd be interesting, again, the age span or age category that this participants responded with, that they would, look at themselves being, in the future. 44%. 61% having a different personality. Ooh, now, you know what? This is the second highest thing other than changing their body shape, size, that thing, at 74%, but 61% having a different personality, okay? And would this mean, Justin stated, being more outgoing? How many people would maybe fantasize in their, that you are more subdued, that you are more, maybe introverted? There we go. That you're maybe shy. How many people play the sexual role that you're shy instead of being more outgoing and you want to be maybe more passive sexually, that you don't want to be the aggressor, you want to be more the submissive? And I'm going to get into that too, and that sort of comes into the role of maybe, I think most people want to be more, outgoing in their personality, more confident maybe. I don't think a lot of people would want to fantasize about being more, having an unhealthy self-esteem or not being confident about themselves. And maybe people, they're confident and they feel poorly about themselves, and they just, there's a lot of people out there, I know, that they'll pay a lot of money to have, say, women throw frickin' eggs at them and breaking eggs all over them, calling them names and degrading in a corner of a room. Yeah, there's all kind of fantasy and frickin' things that go on out there as far as fetishes, if you will. So maybe, you're thinking, or everybody thinks you're confident, you feel like you're not a good person. Maybe you want to be a different personality than what everybody thinks you are, and you don't like yourself much, and maybe that's part of your sexual fantasy. According to Justin, 61% said they want a different, personality, and I wonder how much of that 61%, if you break it down, and maybe I can go over this, and dig through it, or just have Justin send me the research data as far as what type of personality changes and what the percentage of that 61% would come out that way. Now, 58%, close second, but in third place, is changing sexual roles, that you want to be more dominant or more submissive. maybe, you know what, this correlates to more confidence, that you want to be, you know, you're shy, you're maybe afraid to make a mistake, that you're afraid to be rejected. You're afraid to tell your partner exactly what you want because you don't want to hurt their feelings, or, you know what, get them mad or upset, or maybe you're going to be looked at as a bad person, a rotten person. So, you know what, I'm surprised actually, you know what, this isn't a little higher. That, you know, some people, you know what, want to be more dominant, more confident. You know, maybe they're afraid to go out there. So, you know what, damn it, kiss me like this, lick me right here, do me like this, you know, be more dominant and more, you know, controlling of your sexual identity. And you know what, I love everybody to, of course, evolve and become more of, you know what, their own sexual being, their more sexual identity. And I would love to see where you fall in this spectrum with your sexual fantasies. This might be something to share in our group, the private Facebook group. I'd love to hear, you know, what you have thought about and what you fantasize about while you're having sex, or even, you know, thinking about having sex. Have you pictured yourself with, you know what, there's some women out there that have huge tatas and they wish they were smaller. So it's not always, you know, about the bigger boobs and all this stuff. Maybe some people fantasize about having smaller things, you know, smaller chest, or, you know, of course, smaller belly, that type of thing. But it's ironic how many people assume, you know, everybody assumes like they want a bigger breast size, you know, bigger cup size, whatever. There's women out there that, you know, fantasize about having a reduced cup size or smaller boobs, okay? Believe it or not. So is there anything that guys wish they had, you know, smaller? It'd be ironic. Like I said, I don't think I've ever heard of a guy saying he wished he had a smaller salon or salami stick and going after this. I'd love to hear your comments. You know what? Throw them below in the chat. I'd love to hear what you fantasize about. And how many people out there might not comment on this because, you know what, it's a little too personal. It's a little too close to home. Or, you know what, you're shy. I don't want to tell my business out there, and that type of aspect. And I understand it and I respect it. Or you can give me a call at 313-736-5157 as well. And you can be private. You'll be anonymous. And to be able to go after, you know, what you fantasize. I'm trying to think, how have I ever pictured myself differently? You know what? Maybe having the six-pack abs that I used to have many years ago. They're getting there, but still, you know. And how many, you know, maybe more buff? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe me being taller? Maybe a little bit. But other than that, no, not at all. I think me fantasizing, it's usually about, you know, not really changing too much about myself. I don't know if that means I'm confident or that just means I think differently than a lot of other people. We all have our insecurities, and it's ironic how, you know, our sexual fantasies and how we see ourselves or fantasize about ourselves. And I think the research that Justin Lee Miller did and completed sort of substantiates that a lot of our sexual fantasies and how we change ourselves and our fantasies, they're correlated or associate with our insecurities. You know, maybe it is, you know what, we want to be buffer, more in shape, not as fat, not as big. And some people, you know what, they think they're too skinny, or they have, you know what, no butt. They have too little of a butt, and they want a huge booty, you know, like freaking out to here booty. Whatever you're into. And those type of things, and I think it's ironic, and I don't think that would be surprising if I, you know, throw this out there, and, you know, a lot of people fantasize about something or changing something about them that is an insecurity within themselves, right? How many people also maybe change their sexual fantasy that you're, you know what, like me, you're not rich, but you fantasize about being filthy rich? Would that change your personality? Would that make you more confident in the bedroom? Ooh, because you have millions and millions of dollars. Does that make you a better sexual partner? You know what? It might not. You might think you are, but you're moving your head, Jack, moving it all over. Man, I'm just great, but there ain't nothing going on below your chin. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, how much money, you might be able to pay someone to tell you how good you are, but they could be lying to you, right? So how many people look at their sexual insecurities and associate you with with your fantasies and how you see yourselves during a sexual fantasy, or how you see yourself, the image of you being with personality, physical traits, that type of thing, during your sexual fantasies. And even if they're with your partner, I'm saying a lot of times we tend to sexualize about our partners. Maybe somebody doesn't, somebody don't. Would you be appalled if your partner told you, yeah, I fantasize about having sex with Jennifer Aniston, or whoever out there, right? Whoever your male frickin', maybe Usher if you're a female, or maybe, Jonas, Nick Jonas, whatever. Whatever your frickin' fantasy is of a guy, a famous actor, football player, basketball player that you fantasize about. And would you be okay sharing that with your partner? You know what? Have you ever fantasized about so-and-so? Who have you fantasized about while you're, having sex? Ooh. Would your partner be confident enough to hear your, who you fantasize about, man or woman? And you know what? A lot of people women would not ever be able to handle it. I know a lot of women that would love to handle it, want to hear it. And there's a lot of men out there that are so insecure with themselves that they don't want to hear it. Oh my God, if my wife or girlfriend ever told me she fantasized about somebody else having sex while we were together, or, in a relationship, oh my God, that'd be it. I'd be leaving her. And I'm like, what? That is insecure, right? No, I just know myself well enough. I wouldn't tolerate it. And I'm like, you know what? Let's get at the root. Let's get, through all the BS situation. And let's just say it's insecurity, okay? You can call it whatever you want, but maybe I know differently. So, again, what would you like, yourself to be in your sexual fantasy? Is it more a realistic image of who you are now currently? Or is it someone, different, like body shape, personality? What about, oh, I want to be, darker. I want to be more tanned. I want to be lighter skinned. I want to be, pale white, whatever it is. African American people, do you want to be darker complected? Do you want to be lighter complected? And a lot of people out there, they know there is maybe, if you want to say, an inner discrimination in the African American community about, darker versus light. And a lot of white people don't know it. They don't get it, okay? But this is a reality. So maybe you fantasize about stuff that you wish you were versus how you are now. And think about this. Are you able to even talk about this situation with your partner? You know what? I would love to be more da-da-da-da-da. Now, when we look at, how you see yourself, how you envision yourself in a sexual fantasies, now, what are some things you can do about this, okay? What are some things you can do about? You know what? Can you actually make, and I term this, right? Your sexual fantasies into, a reality, okay? And are you able to do anything about it? Okay, if you wanted to be thinner, can you go on a weight loss program, okay? Can you start exercising, working out, watching what you eat? Absolutely. There might be something you can do about it. Some things genetics. Me, height-wise, I can't do a damn thing about it, okay? But there are some things, if we wanted to get, maybe buffer, more in shape, there's some things we can do about it. Yes, it does take a lot of work. Believe me, it takes a lot of work. So there are some things we can do about it. Now, if we're shy in the bedroom, right, and we fantasize about being more brave and telling our partner, what you want, how you want it, what you want to do to them, what you want them to do to you type of thing. Can you change and evolve that? Absolutely, right? So you being, the person you fantasize you are in your, let's face it, in your sexual fantasies, there are some things you can do about it. You can become more confident. You can learn more. But a lot of people might be afraid to put the work in, okay? So there are some things you can do to change and become the person you fantasize you are in your relationship. Maybe you want to last longer in bed, guys, that you don't want to, blow it so quick or come so quick. And I tell people the actual average of actual intercourse is between 2.5 to 5 minutes, okay, where guys last that long, okay? And there are some tricks and some things you can do to last longer. Change positions, slow down, stop. And I talk about the point of no return. There are some things you can do to change and become, maybe you fantasize about yourself being a better lover. What are some things you can do to do that? You can research, you can learn, you can ask your partner type of thing. And if you are single out there, you know what? I tell people, everybody's different. Every woman's different. Every man's different. Maybe what they like, what they don't like, as far as pressure points, as far as speeds, that type of thing. Faster, slower, firmer, softer. You can, one, you can't really learn about that unless you're with that person. But these are some things you can look at and research and, look at different techniques out there. There's a lot of them on, even oral sex and, different maybe positions. And I'm going to talk about maybe on Freaky Friday about how well do you know vagina. And I'm going to talk about that. And it'll be ironic how many women don't even know the information I'm going to share with you on Friday, okay? So these are things that, look at what you can do to become, the person you want to be in your sexual fantasies. And the things you can't, forget about it, okay? Don't worry about it, and don't, because usually most people you're with don't care about that. They're not going to be with you to begin with. But there are some things you can do to improve and become, maybe the fantasy person that you think about during your sexual fantasies, either, masturbating or whatever. Workout, start a diet routine. I always say, check with your doctor. I want to make sure you don't start a diet or exercise routine that it's going to hurt you. Say you got an underlying heart condition that you don't know about, and I went and exercised and I hurt myself, had a heart attack, or even passed away, and it's Greg's fault. No. I'm throwing a disclaimer out there. Before you start any diet or, exercise, new exercise routine, go to your doctor. Get checked out. I want you safe, okay? Now, changing your attitude, your, confidence level in your fantasies, being that person, you can do that. You don't need to talk to a doctor. Look at how you want to change and what it would take for you to change and go after it, okay? And own it. Own your sexuality. Own your fantasies, okay? So, everybody, you have a terrific Hump Day Wednesday. I hope everybody is doing well out there. And you know what? As always, peace and love out there. Going to give a shout out to my website, the art of relationships.org, and that is either above or below the video. I can't remember how it's fed through the system. So check it out, the art of relationships.org, and you can catch a show Monday through Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time, the Art of Relationships show. Take care, everybody. Peace and love.